this is. Alright, looks like we're good. Let's just appreciate the aesthetic here for a bit. And here you can see my main save and how far I've gotten into that. But for today, let's do something different. Calling this a no berry run, although mostly I'm just not going out of the way to get anything that's not necessary. There we go. So for anyone not familiar with the games, the berries are optional collectibles along the way. That you get them, they give you points that don't matter. There's a counter that doesn't really matter. I don't think they even really unlock anything. They're just there as a challenge. Anyway, Celeste is a platformer. You notice it has a pixelated style. Things trying to fall on you places. Awkward jumps. And there's this bit of thing you don't commonly get in platformers, although it's not unheard of. You can climb up walls. There are certain surfaces you cannot climb on. There's a limit to how long you can climb. If I hang here for too long, she'll start getting tired out. And eventually slide off. As is common for games where you can climb, you can also do wall jumps. And there's another mobility option that we'll be getting to shortly. There is some dialogue in the game. To go along with the kind of retro pixelated style, there's not voiced lines, there's more noises that are kind of suggestive of talking. So anyway, what's going on here is Madeline, our protagonist, is going to climb Mount Celeste for reasons, which are better developed further into the game. For now, just know she wants to climb the mountain. And the mountain is not just a mountain, it's an allegory. For anxiety, depression, it's a mental health thing in general. Where this is collapsing. And here you should be done for, except here's your new mobility option, which is not actually available until now. You get an air dash, which you can also use on the ground. Although, generally it's not as useful on the ground. But it is there. Giving ourselves a little pep talk. And on to the first actual stage, the Forsaken City. Interestingly, even if you go back and do the tutorial stage again, you cannot dash until it tells you about the dash. You can climb at any time, but you can't dash. Okay, that is how you do that. That's a trick you won't need to use this early in the game. Not until much later optional content. If there's one of those berries, basically the concept of those is you touch one, you get back onto solid ground, and it's collected. Spring, you dash through here, avoid spikes. Spikes unsurprisingly hurt. Most rooms have several ways through them. And here's the gimmick of this area. Well, the main gimmick anyway. You have these platforms where when you stand on them or grab onto them, they will launch themselves to the side. Also, there's a winged berry. Winged berries have an extra gimmick in that as soon as you dash, they fly off. So if you're trying to get those, which I'm not, then you have to be a little more careful how you do it. The other thing with the platforms that throw themselves around is there's a momentum system. I'm going to go that way or this way. I think progress is to the right. I can't remember. Also, those diamonds you'll see in midair sometimes, if you touch those will refresh your dash. Dash is also refreshed if you touch ground or hit something like a spring, or if you bounce on an enemy in areas that have those. I don't believe there are any in Stage 1. But as you can see, the momentum from the platform is transferred to your character and you can get launched pretty far. The game gets considerably more difficult and complicated as it goes on. Here we have platforms that fall when you touch them. There's another one. What you do here is grab it on the side of this, dash over here, that will collapse. And that's just for a berry, so I'm skipping it. Now, if you wanted to get that berry, you would use the momentum from the platform to go up. But half the point of this run is I'm skipping berries. You can get a considerable launch from those things. Some diamonds will come back after they've been used if you wait for a bit. Yeah. Almost fouled that up. But it worked out. And this is just about to the end of the stage, as I recall. It's fairly short if you're skipping the optional stuff. The controls are quite good. They kind of need to be with some of the challenges that it throws at you. Need to use the momentum from that to launch up. And here's the end of Stage 1 already. This memorial dedicated to those who perished on the climb. As I mentioned, the mountain is an allegory for mental health issues. And some people never make it up their own mountains. There's that bird again. Though that does raise the question. Is it better to perish on the climb, or never to attempt it to begin with? Yeah, there we go. Strawberries will impress your friends, but that's about it. Anyway, this seems to be the same place as we just ended, but something's not right. The fire is weirdly green, the background is weirdly hazy, the text on the memorial is moving. Something is wrong here. There's these weird things that currently are just walls, but that won't last. Let's see, where did I need to go? Yep, the floor is a floor. That's a berry. Sometimes you can break walls. This might be it. I can't remember. No, that's not right. Oh, can you make it across this way? Maybe, but that doesn't feel right. Yeah, this is much more approachable. Yeah, it's been a while since I was in the early parts of the game, so I don't remember it as well. In some areas you get these viewing things that let you see stuff. No, I guess you do need to go down there. And you can't get there from here, so... I guess you do need to do the tricky room. Because unless I'm much mistaken, that mirror is your destination. Okay, so from here you have to dash up. You jump over to get this. Okay. That's the... Not that complicated. Yeah, part platformer, part puzzle. You do need to figure out what to do, and then you have to actually do it. And there in the mirror is someone who looks like her, but also not like her. Popularly Madeline. And she just burst out of the mirror. Surely that's not a bad thing. Anyway, these is now activated. And that's the main one of the main gimmicks of Stage 2. You have these things, you dash into them, you dash all the way through to the other side. Coming out of them also refreshes your dash, which can be important. These now move. And of course, if there's a wall in the way on the other side of one of these, you smash into the wall. Let's see, where did I need to go? Yeah, like that. When I also did something that I didn't mean to do. These are strawberry fragments. If you collect all of them without touching the ground, they strawberry will appear, but again, I'm not going for strawberries. I'm just trying to get through as much as possible. If you look closely, there's a gap underneath that in the floor. Again, not going for that, not going for the strawberry. Where was progress? Don't remember. Might have been up here. Not that way. Up here, though, looks promising. Yep. No, that's just strawberry. Oh, it's probably down. There's something up here, too. Yeah, of course, if you dash straight through that, you hit the other far wall. So you need to kind of zig and zag. Yeah, this is it. Creepy, isn't it? As I mentioned, the game is kind of an allegory for mental health things, so why wouldn't part of you be creepy? Also, there's a very nice distortion effect going on. They're going outside of the text box. And now we have a chase part. She will follow along after your movements with a delay. And I shouldn't have diagonaled there. So yeah, if she's follow along, she copies your movement with delay, so you kind of need to dodge around her at times. Other times you just need to outspeed her. It's kind of amazing how much easier this feels after doing more of the game. I remember really struggling my first time here, and that's wrong. Okay, I need to get this, and then avoid her on the way out. There. Yes, that. This will collapse. Kind of slide down the wall. Yeah, waited too long. Yeah, one of the nice things about this game is that although it is quite challenging, you also restart immediately at the beginning of the ring you were just in, so you're right back into the action. It doesn't feel like much of a setback. Yeah, waited too long. Yeah, there's now, I think, 5 of her, so pretty much any path you've already been on is pretty much covered. So you need to move quickly to stay ahead of them. And I am doing unnecessary advanced tech here. Yeah, slid 2 for down. Yeah, the thing where you jump out of the far end of the blobby things is more of a speedrunner tech that's necessary in some of the advanced stages, but not here at all. Okay, that's that room clear. And I think this is pretty much the end of the stage. There's some more berries hidden along the way, but I'm skipping berries, so not an issue. And the phone's ringing. Why would a public payphone be ringing? Why would any of this be happening? That's just about the least useful thing to say to someone who's panicking. That would explain a lot, wouldn't it? That's a good question. Some of the animation is kind of incredible. Anyway, the fire's gone out. The memorial is back to normal. There's someone up there now. Although I'm pretty sure we can just ignore him for now, so why not? As I recall, he also appears in stage 1 somewhere, so we'll meet him eventually. Kind of curious what happens if you don't meet him until you need to. Probably not much. And that's the core part of Chapter 2. 8 deaths, not too bad. The game does also keep records of things, so you see here 0 20 berries, 0 18 berries, 0 deaths stage 1, 8 deaths in stage 2. Clocks your time in case you're trying for speedrunning. Clear is to get through the thing in one run. Full clear, I think, is with all the berries, so if you're trying to get those times, then that matters for that. But, yeah, as you can see, there are also other things that I'm not going for here. And there are global stats of over 5 billion deaths. Kind of curious how many players that's across, but yeah, in a game where death is a slap on the wrist, there are going to be a lot of deaths. Here, one of the gimmicks is this goopy stuff. If you touch that, it kills you, of course. It's basically a reskin of spikes. You have those moving ones, which, again, if you touch them, they basically kill you. I want to come up here. I'm here. Get the key. There may have been keys in previous chapters as well in areas I didn't go to, but anyway, ring bell for service. That was creepy. So is that. All of the squeaky noises, less so. Also, he doesn't seem to realize he's dead. And he has issues of his own beyond that. Right this way. Yet this place has not been operational for some time. Yeah. Yeah, I need to work on my timing a bit. But a lot of practice. That this should be basic video game stuff, to be honest. And of course that one falls. You have these platforms, they gradually fall when you're on them, go back up when you're not. You don't even really need that. There's the key. Yeah, that looks suspicious. That's probably just more berries though, so I'm going to ignore it for now. Just kind of time my way between these. There's the key, which will follow you until you get to the door. And automatically stick itself in. Then you have these walls, and in some places floors. You can touch them once, but once you've done that, the stuff grows on them, you can't do it again. Simple enough for now. There's Mr. Oshiro. Yes, he doesn't even seem to notice the state of the place. Of course, I dash right up into that. Probably don't even need to grab those walls. Yeah, if I wanted to grab that berry, it would have been easy enough. There's a key. Just need to find a way to get there. And try not to jump into these on the way. As you can probably tell, I'm not a speedrunner. It's simple enough. All this floating stuff, some of which you can't tell what it is. Yeah, that wasn't so bad. This will go all slowly. I use maneuver through here. And there. Here's our key to continue. And we will be disappointing Mr. Oshiro. Definitely dash too far there. Supposed to diagonal, I think. There. That's better. This mountain symbol indicates a midpoint, basically. If you continue from the map, you can come back to here. And if you're looking for strawberries, those are also helpful for that, because the levels are divided into sections based on these, and will tell you which strawberries you have and have not gotten in each section. Yes, he's trying to be a people pleaser, but not really paying attention to what she actually wants. Which is really not a good way to do that. We have this place, which is a mess of stuff. We're going to have to clean that up a bit. At least he notices this part. Okay, those barriers now disappear. And we have an interesting bit where each of these sections will affect the others, so the order you go through them will cause them to change. I misjudged that. These are quite predictable. Just need to avoid them. Yeah. I was thinking the dash would run out before I hit the thing, but evidently not. Forgot to grab the wall. Very nice music. Just drop here. Yeah, I remember having some trouble with this room before. The timing is not too bad, but it is a bit tricky. There. That's just a berry, though. Still, it didn't wait quick enough. It's easy enough to get from here down to there. I guess those are there so you can kind of hover between them for a bit to get your timing in order. Not sure why there's the right side of the room there. It seems to be completely unnecessary. And here we go. Mario Switch Palace. Sort of. That cleans up some of the clutter, which affects the main room, of course, but also affects the other side rooms. Need to go talk to him again to reopen those. Is anyone okay? That's kind of on the nose. And of course the goal was to get into that key there. Let's go up this time. I don't need to dash at all. There's a big crystal heart throbbing down there. Kind of looks important, but I won't be going for that today. Those are key to accessing some of the optional content. That was simple enough. Here you have to dash to get across there. Have to dash there. And there. This will remove all the books. Yeah, stuff on the ground like this is the one time where dashing into the ground is meaningful. You could also fall faster by holding down, which is not normally a thing, but it can be in some of the later optional content. Myriad luxuries. Perhaps in its prime. Now, not so much. Alright. Ah, there's Theo. So here's where you have to meet him. And Theo is known for selfies and Instagramming. Although they give it some fake name. Problem is, you can't really help people who don't want help. First step of solving a problem is always admitting you having one. There's obviously something there. There's Theo crawling along through the duct. Nice bit of attention to detail. Yeah, if you want that strawberry, you have to not dash. And it looks like you want to not dash to the wall there. Although, no. It's quite alright just doing that. Yeah, I misjudged that. There, it's better. Here you have to dash across. And realize there's no floor there. Yeah, occasionally I'll accidentally diagonal when I mean to not, or vice versa. But usually the controls are very good. There's another time where dashing down kind of makes sense. That'll clean up the linens. You could also go down in the water. The music gets muffled when you do. It's another nice effect. You can climb the walls, but it's faster to jump back and forth, so that's what I do. And finally, here's a reward. He doesn't even seem to notice the locked doors. Yeah, sure they did. Yeah, she is not in her happy place. And here's the elevator. Oh, it's interesting. You start here instead of the beginning of the room. There's Theo again. Looks like he didn't really get anywhere. As I understand it, grabbing a diamond to refresh your dash will also refresh your climbing stamina. Yeah, obviously if you're going for the diamonds, this will be slower and more difficult. Yeah, messed that up. I needed to not use the dash until on the top wall. There's that diagonal again. Like I said, it's usually not an issue, but every so often I'll have my finger placement isn't quite right. Also, I believe jumping away from a wall that you're not holding onto does not use up climbing stamina, but jumping when you are holding on uses up more than just climbing. There he is, argue with himself. I suppose it's not unusual for people to do that, but normally they do it internally. And this mess seems to be a manifestation of his internal traumas. It's just a thing that happens here on Celeste Mountain. That thing's fast. Okay. Just need to find that key. This looks like it's just berries, but the key could be over this way. I forget. Nope, that's just another viewpoint. There's the key. Ah, and there's the cassette, which is another optional thing that I'll be skipping. Because that unlocks a harder B-side. Which is based on the A-side, but kicks things up a few notches. Yeah, you'll notice, unsurprisingly, the hotel is closed and everyone has left. Except for a certain someone who can't say goodbye. And we're on the other side of the blockage. Okay, so here you need to dash in there. Your character is actually quite slender as far as hitbox goes. And you can duck, although that's not normally an issue. If we have a mirror here, the mirror is actually behaving itself. Which I suppose isn't too surprising, since that was all just a dream. Probably. It does seem like a nice enough room. But if you're not actually looking to stay here, it doesn't matter. Or maybe the mirror isn't behaving itself. Maybe it's more than just a dream. Not exactly tactful, but she's not wrong. That doesn't sound good. And there goes the ceiling. And of course that doesn't go over well. Yeah, here's another gimmick for the stage. And yes, you can bonk his head. If you manage to land on it. Honestly, he's not usually much of a threat. And of course I get hit as soon as I say that. Ah, right, the growing stuff. Don't even need that diamond. You can duck under him sometimes. And he threw off my jump. Or maybe I just went too early. Not really sure. Thing is, he aims at where you were and not where you are. So if you do a lot of going up and down, that's a neat segment. That berry is easy enough to get if you want to. But a little too far there. Bounced right into him. Just go. No, not like that. You can also go over it like that. Probably should have dashed down. And again. Okay. Wait for him to go. That berry's not too hard to get either. Oh. Looking ahead too much. Stuck on top here. You could probably dash through the gap down there, but it's easier to go over. It's probably meaningful. He's single-minded even as a poltergeist or whatever. Vengeful Wraith. But yeah, you really can't help people who aren't ready to accept help. Yeah, that's kind of our fault. Anyway, that's chapter 3. Has a lot of character. And on to chapter 4, where, as I recall, Theo has a larger part to play. Up these things. timing of these is not what I expected to be. Also these bubbles. They kind of dash a little bit, and then you can dash after the bubble dashes. So those are the main gimmicks for the stage. There's that bird again. It kind of squawks at you and then just leaves. And there's Granny again. Not sure how she got here. She's almost some kind of vaguely creepy mountain spirit. I keep wanting to call him Mr. Oyashiro. Oyashiro is basically like a local deity. Get that in the Higurashi when they cry? That's what they call Hanyo. Oyashiro-sama. The god that supposedly curses people, but actually is mostly powerless and not at all malevolent. And she has a point. If you're crazy, do you know you're crazy? Ah yes, and wind. Of course there's wind. Wind does what you would expect. Pushing against you or with you, depending. Okay, yes, those do that. The purple clouds are like the regular ones, except that they disappear after using them. Moving platforms plus wind. Not too bad. The wind is at least consistent in most areas, and quite visible. Just climb over this, jump back down. Easy. Yeah, that looks suspicious, and it's hiding a strawberry. Okay, there's another strawberry. Alright, the trick here is that when the wind's blowing, you can jump to the wall from itself, which you normally can't do and gain height. Like, if you try, you can get back almost to where you were, but not get any higher. But here, or there, when there's wind, okay, it's these. Will go in the direction of the arrow when they're activated. However, if they have panels like this, you can kind of steer them by being where the panel is and pressing the appropriate direction. I think I wanted to steer up there. Through that gap. Mind the spikes, though. This water again, this looks suspicious, and yeah, strawberry. Actually, I think there's more than a strawberry. Yep. But again, that's a secret. I'm not going for those. Alright, you need to get that down and back up. Simple enough. Okay, let's judge that. Yeah, these platforms have spikes on top of them, so you can't ride there. Alright, that runs into this thing there and shatters. I think I just want to go straight towards the right wall. Yeah, that's easy. I didn't want to do that. Okay, you can climb on top of that once it starts moving, so... Not an issue. Can that keep going here? Yes, it can. And it needs to. Okay. We're making progress up the mountain. The wind is back. The wind is not too much of an issue at the moment. Also, the bubbles are immune to the wind, or at least not noticeably affected. Okay, that is not what I meant to do at all. And I ran out of stamina. Okay, dash from the bubble, dash out of the bubble. And from here you just go. That's not so bad. Now here the wind is with you, so you can go further, but you do have to be careful because that will still throw off your physics. Here it's against again. You can rest here if you want. Little dash, get in here. Here you need to dash to get the far side of this. And continue up. What do I want to do? Probably come up here, ride that down. So I can dash over here. Okay. That wasn't right. That refreshes your dash. There. That's just a berry. Had some extremely strong wind. There, you can ignore that unless you want the berry. Steer this in here. It's not good enough. That was also not good enough. I think I can, yeah, pop that in ahead of time. Get to this ahead of time. There we go.